We'll simply just look at this first part today. Okay, we will not get through the entire piece. We'll break it up into pieces. So your worksheets that you have, we won't be able to do the full worksheet today and then the next one tomorrow and be all the way done. We'll do it in pieces. And this topic is called polar coordinates. There's a reason why it is built into the trigonometry course. We'll get to the trig part tomorrow. But it says to plot and rename 3 pi over 4 different ways. So what does that mean? Well, you are used to what we call rectangular coordinates. Rectangular coordinates are your traditional XY coordinates that sit within what we refer to as the Cartesian plane. And that's really helpful. Okay, it's a great way to kind of model mathematics. But there are different ways of doing it. Polar coordinates, we have a r theta. So those look familiar, don't they? Haven't we seen r theta in our previous unit? Yeah. And so you can see that instead of an xy plane, where it's rectangular, we have radius values. So this would be like 1. This would be like 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we have theta values. So this would be 0. Let me guess what this is. 180, and we're going to use radians. So we would call it pi. What's this spot up here? Pi over 2. And if we, you kind of get the idea, this could be pi over 6, pi over 4, pi over 3. This spot here would be 2 pi over 3. It would be 3 pi over 4, 5 pi over 6, 7 pi over 6, 5 pi over 4, 4 pi over 3, 3 pi over 2, and then we got 5 pi over 3, 7 pi over 4, 11 pi over 6, and 2 pi. So that should bring you back to our unit circle. Everybody's comfortable with those values, I'm assuming. They bring joy to your life. When you see it, it kind of brings you back to your happy place. So it says plot and rename 3 pi over 4 different ways. So I'm first going to plot it, and it's as simple as just going 3 units on your radius. So 3 units out, and then turning up to pi over 4. Now, I'm not going to lie. Plotting polar coordinates can be confusing sometimes for people. And I would encourage you to do this. I would encourage you to do the angle first and the r value second. So, can somebody give me another angle that places me at the same spot as pi over 4? Give me another angle that places me at the same spot as pi over 4. No, nothing. 225? That's a great idea. But 225 will place me down here. 2 pi over 4? 2 pi over 4 will be same thing as pi over 2, which is right here. So I want to end up right here. What if I go around the opposite direction? Negative 7 pi over 4. Right? So if you look at this, if I were to, like, around to here, that's like 315 degrees, right? If you went the opposite direction, 315 degrees, it would bring you there as well. So negative 7 pi over 4. So the fact is that 3 pi over 4, that polar coordinate, is the same as 3 negative 7 pi over 4. Here's the part where it gets tricky for people sometimes. You can also have a negative radius. Okay? So I know that seems weird, but I'll show you an example here. Okay? So as you see this point plotted there, 3 pi over 4, what that means is I rotate pi over 4, and in the direction pi over 4, I go 1, 2, 3 units. We're all good with that, right? So what would we do if it said negative 3 pi over 4? What we would do is we would rotate pi over 4, but instead of going 3 units in that direction, we would go 3 units in the opposite direction. Negative radius means you go in the opposite direction of the angle. So, again, we're only going to be plotting points today, and you're going to practice this part. We'll go to our worksheet, but let's rename it using a negative radius, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do Morgan's idea, okay? Morgan, what angle brought me over here? 225, or 5 pi over 4. Everybody agreed? So if I move to 5 pi over 4, that will bring me here. But then I don't want to go 3 units in that direction. I want to go in the other direction. So we'll do negative 3. So if you were to plot the point negative 3, 5 pi over 4, again, here's what you would do. You would rotate 5 pi over 4 like such, and then instead of going 3 units in that direction, you would go 3 units in the opposite direction. You'd end up on that same spot. You see that? Okay, let's do one more as you guys kind of piecing this together. We're going to, again, use a negative radius. So I want to end up in this location right here. But I'm not going to use 5 pi over 4. Can somebody think of another angle that brings me to this spot that is not 5 pi over 4? Negative 135, which is negative 3 pi over 4. So part of what you want to see from the very beginning is that all 4 of these are, in fact, the same coordinates. They all place you in the very exact same position. In this situation, we'll say yes. Okay. Practice on your own. Don't do the second step, do the first step. I would like you to plot 1, 3 pi over 4 here. I'd like you to plot 3, negative pi over 6 here. I'd like you to plot negative 3, negative 3 pi here. I'd like you to plot negative 4 pi over 4 here. Go ahead, see if you can just plot the points. Just plot them. Don't worry about renaming them yet. I'm going to slowly put these up here. All right, let's talk about the coordinates, see if you have them right. We're going to go step by step. Please do not be afraid to ask why if you made a mistake somewhere. The first one, I rotate 3 pi over 4. It brings me that far. And then I go 1 unit in that direction. So any question on the first one? The second one, I rotate negative pi over 6. So I go 30 degrees in the opposite direction. So I go down. And then I go 3 units in that direction. True or false? Negative 3 pi is more than once around the circle. True. So I went negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, and it brought me to this spot. Notice the radius is negative 3. So I don't go 3 units in that direction. I go 3 units in the opposite direction. You see that? 3 units in the opposite direction. That's usually the one that really gets people. The last one, I rotate pi over 4. And instead of going 4 units in that direction, since it's negative 4, I go 4 units in the opposite direction. We good? Okay. Now what I would like you to do is I would like you to rename this so that it has negative 1 as a radius. Rename this so it has negative 3 as a radius. Rename this so it has positive 3 as a radius. And rename this so it has positive 4 as a radius. Go ahead. She didn't give in. Did you see that? She never told me her favorite brother. Favorite sister? Ooh, wow. Not caving. All right. Very good. I've heard from a few of you before. That's all right. Okay, so this one, negative 1, would, if I have negative 1, I don't want to end up in this position, do I? I want to end up in this position. So this angle right here, you could have a negative pi over 4. Or if you try to get to this position by going this way, you would do positive 7 pi over 4. Those are the most common results. With that? Yeah. Good job. So negative 3. So I don't want to end up here. I want to end up here. And that would be a rotation of 5 pi over 6. Or you could go in the opposite direction, say negative 7 pi over 6. Can you tell me what you did?
I honestly don't know because I have 3 pi over 4.
Okay. Yeah, so 3 pi over 4 is really close. That'll be right here. And you're just going just a little bit further to 5 pi over 6. So good job. You're really close. In this situation, I just go 0. I mean, isn't that the coordinate 3, 0, everybody? Here's another option for you, 3, 2 pi. Or 3, negative 2 pi. Or 3, 1,486 pi. Any even numbers of pi will work just fine, won't they? Yeah. Taylor didn't like that last one, she said. She's against, just stop, just leave it alone. Okay, that's all right. This one, 4, so I want to end up exactly at that rotation, and that rotation would be 5 pi over 4. Or you could go in the opposite direction, and you could go negative 3 pi over 4. Any questions on those 4? Yeah. So the last one, again, we want to end up in this position right here. Agreed? And it's a positive 4, so that's why I want to end up here. If it was negative, I would want to end up over here. So how do I get there? I rotate that angle, which is 5 pi over 4. Or this much is 3 pi over 4, so it'll be a negative 3 pi over 4. Can I ask what you put?
Nothing.
Okay. All right. Very good. All right. Then let's stop the video there. Lesson